All right, I think we have everybody. We're a little bit after time. Wanted to make sure we gave people kind of a chance to jump in if they were running behind. So let's jump in and get started with our Facebook ads masterclass. We're going to talk about how you as builders and remodelers can maximize your reach and drive results with Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp today. So we'll go through an agenda quickly. So we'll touch on our approach. So how we build a strategy for our clients when it comes to a marketing strategy. We'll go into the stats on the Meta platform, right? Why you might want to pay attention and possibly advertise on the platform. We'll touch on paid ad benefits, right? Why paid ads can be valuable and how to use those. Then we'll jump into the Facebook or Meta platform overview to kind of give you some of the basics that you'll need to know. And then how to DIY, right? So what you do to start to advertise on the platform and generate some results. Lastly, we'll touch on some complementary tools that we have available for you can take advantage of. And then we'll finish with some questions, some Q&A for anything that comes up. So let's jump in, and I would recommend paying attention. This is your time, so you use it how you'd like to, but it's very easy to get distracted. There is some valuable information in here, and I will keep it short, sweet, and to the point. So let's go through that. So who am I and why listen? My name is Jake Marsh, and I'm founder of Design Build Marketing, and we focus on builders and remodelers, and we work with them to nail their digital marketing and grow the business. So we've had some phenomenal results with our campaigns recently, and one of those is Facebook and the Meta platform. So excited to share with some of those results with you today. I have a couple snapshots here of a couple clients that we've been running an ad for here recently. So when you're looking at the results here, these are leads on Facebook. Leads means they filled out a form on Facebook. They've given us their name, their phone number, and their email. And many of them are booking an appointment as well. The cost per result, which is the total amount spent divided by, of course, the number of leads that have come in. So this is just a small ad campaign, small budget, just a single ad. We're getting one lead per day here with $35.70 per lead. This client specifically, actually, it's this client specifically just landed a $350,000 remodel job. It's a whole home remodel. So one of their largest jobs ever. This is a pretty small market. So very large job for them. 11 leads, almost one per day here as well, $44 a lead. So again, these are turning into appointments. They're building the database for us. So we're able to market to these people because they've given us their name and email. So really good results there. Here's kind of an outlier. We're seeing a lot of results for this client. Again, kind of an outlier, but 3 leads a day or for about $11 per lead. So great activity here. These are all very recent campaigns that we've run. So good results that we definitely been happy with, and our clients, more importantly, been happy with. So let's look at our approach. So when we talk with clients about how to do a marketing strategy, how to get their name out there in the market, the way we look at that is we want to have digital omnipresence, which means we want to be everywhere. Whenever a client comes online, we want to be on their social page. We want to be showing up in searches. We want to be kind of everywhere that we can be, so that when they think about doing a remodel or custom home, you're at least in the running, right? You're at least top of mind. They may have some referrals or other kinds of contacts, but we want them to think of you and think of you as an authority and kind of larger player in the market. So everyone's budget's different. So it depends on kind of what your budget is. We can't do everything, of course, for a lot of our clients, but we kind of build to that, right? So we start with where your budget is, and then we kind of bring in more and more of these components as you grow and increase the budget. So our goal is to accelerate growth. We're not here to build your name only. We're not here to kind of get pretty photos out there. We are here to drive leads and create revenue for the business. So we do that through driving leads through organic SEO, paid ads, and your database. So we want to take advantage also of your list of contacts, your past leads that may have kind of died off. So you're kind of sitting on a gold mine there. Before we go do kind of paid activities to generate leads, let's take advantage of what you already have in front of you in your database. They want to maximize conversion. So we work hard with you to get these leads. We want to make sure that when they find you, that they're not going to have any questions about doing business. The website can't be slow, can't be poorly formatted. We can't have one review on Google or a 4.1 review type of scoring on Google's reviews. So very important to make sure that we are in front of these clients and have a very strong reputation and automation to get to them quickly when they submit their contact information. And we want to follow up with them over time to make sure that we're capturing them even if they're not quite ready yet. So we want to make the most of every single lead that comes into the business. And then optimizing results, we want to pay attention to how much we're spending, how much we're getting back from that, and then what is that overall ROI? Is that what we were expecting? And we kind of make adjustments from there based on the data that we're seeing in our different ad campaigns. All right, so let's jump into the stats on the Meta platform. Most people I talk to are kind of in this position. I am buried. Why should I care, right? Well, Meta, we all kind of know is a big platform. They're kind of one of the gorillas in the space. 4 billion active users monthly. That is reaching their ads reach 70% of internet users worldwide. Almost 3/4 of the internet users see ads from Facebook. So 24% of all ad spend in the US, so 1/4 of all ad spend goes to the Meta platform. That's only second to Google. And then 500%, right? So 5x ROAS is what you should expect to see. ROAS is return on ad spend. And that means you should be getting $5 back for every dollar that you put in. So very good return. If we're not seeing those numbers, then that's kind of a red flag. And one of the ways that we get the best results is to target. Meta gives us some really good options for targeting. We can be very precise and personalize. We can go to demographics, we can go to interests, behaviors, all of those types of things are kind of available based on Meta's kind of user information. They know a lot about their users. So when we use custom audiences, when we grab the right people with these behaviors and interests and demographics, we build audiences. And when we do that, we start to get very specific, and that leads to lower lead cost, right? We can get leads at a lower price for you, better leads as well, because they're very targeted. And then lookalike audiences would be, we give Facebook our custom audience, and then we say, well, there are probably some other people that we're not aware of. Please do a lookalike audience that is similar to this audience. So we kind of expand that reach, and that can generate some great kind of additional exposure for us when it comes to getting in front of lookalike audiences. So great tool that Facebook makes available to us. Let's go into why paid ads. So why paid ads? A lot of benefits of these going after kind of paid advertising. These are the platforms that you're probably familiar with. There are some others as well that we can support with, but this kind of gives you the kind of core few that we see most commonly. Right now, we're seeing the best results on Meta and Google Local Service. And then when we look at why they're beneficial, right? Why you would likely benefit from paid ads. First and foremost is instant traffic. These are very quick. We advertise, and we should start seeing leads within a few days. And we can evaluate from there, make adjustments if we need to, but we should see traffic pretty much instantly. Advanced targeting, we kind of touched on, so we can get very specific in who we're talking to and who we're serving our ads up to. Measurable return. We know how much we're putting in, and we can very easily, with these types of campaigns, track what we're getting back from a revenue perspective. And then fourth is budget control. So ads are great because we can turn them up or turn them down based on what kind of capacity or budget you have available. If you've got capacity, let's turn the ads up if you have the budget. If you're starting to get pretty loaded and you're kind of 6 months or a year out, maybe we start to kind of ratchet back our ad spend and kind of slow things down a little bit. So we have control over the budget, and that is directly relating to throttling or releasing more ads to us. So Meta strengths. Why is the Meta platform beneficial out of all of the paid ad platforms out there? So early stage, if you think about Google compared to a social media platform like Meta, Google is search based. I will only be able to put an ad in front of someone if they search for something. So if I'm not searching for home remodels or some kind of keyword, if I'm not searching for something, there's no ability to get access to me and put an ad in front of me. Which sometimes that's not a big deal because we kind of want people to be searching. Oftentimes that kind of means they're looking for the service. However, not always. They're not always going out to search. And we can also get in front of them earlier before they're even out there searching. So oftentimes we can put ads into people's feeds before they're ready, and we start to get on their radar. So when a project does come up, now they're thinking of our business and kind of reaching out to us because we've been on their radar for a little while. So we get in front of people earlier in their buying process. Integrated ecosystem. Meta is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So we have a lot of different kind of user base there. We can it's a very kind of cohesive ecosystem that allows us to put ads onto all of the platforms at the same time. So Facebook and Instagram, of course, kind of very visual, right? A lot of videos, a lot of photos. So imagery is very important. That gives us a lot of flexibility and a lot of options when it comes to running ads. And then community following, you have a business page on Facebook. So getting someone to follow you and building that community of followers on Facebook is really, really helpful. So putting ads out there gives you the ability to get that exposure and start to build that community, which of course over time starts to yield its own benefits. Okay, let's kind of jump into the platform basics. So here we're going to talk about some of the different aspects or components of the Meta platform, so you kind of know the terminology that will be relevant and important to you. So first off is campaign types, right? So campaign types are kind of goals, is another way to think about this, right? What is my goal with this ad or ad set that I am getting ready to run? Do I just want awareness? Do I just kind of want my name out there and kind of my brand, kind of get people familiar with me? That's kind of first and foremost, usually a way to kind of start to get that exposure. Traffic campaign, that would be a goal of having traffic go to a website or a landing page. That is kind of the next phase, if you will. So those two are kind of almost interchangeable, slightly different goal, but still very similar in that they are targeting people who aren't really that familiar with the business yet. When we get to leads campaign, the leads campaigns are just that. They are meant to drive leads. When I showed you the examples earlier, that was kind of an example of us getting a lead per day. They are filling out forms on Facebook. They're giving us their contact information. So they are truly leads coming into our database. That is where we start to generate revenue. Of course, very important, but we also need to kind of grease the skids, so to speak, with the awareness and traffic campaigns. So people are kind of familiar with the business before we put those lead ads in front of them. And then retargeting, this is not really a campaign type, it's more of a strategy. So retargeting is, you've probably seen this. This is you go to buy a pair of Nikes or something along those lines. You don't make the purchase yet, you're not quite ready. You leave that website and you go kind of surf the rest of the internet. Now all of a sudden you're seeing Nike ads on your Facebook profile, you're seeing it on Google. Nike shoes kind of seem to be everywhere, right? That is retargeting. You've shown interest in buying a pair of Nike shoes, and they're going to continue to put ads in front of you to make sure that you have plenty of options and you don't forget about Nike shoes. So we can do the same thing. That is a strategy of how we can put ads back in front of those specific users only once they show interest in the business, right? So that could be watching one of your videos. It could be clicking into one of your ads. That could be going to your website. So a lot of different ways that we can kind of categorize them as showing interest in your business. So audience selection, that is kind of what I was just referring to, is you build an audience based on demographics and kind of interests, typically. First and foremost, location. We're all kind of operating in a local market. So that is minimum, our basic kind of first criteria. And then we want to look at demographics, interests, and behaviors. And then lastly, Facebook has gotten really good about understanding who would be a good candidate for our business. So we're actually finding it better to just kind of let Facebook do its thing a lot of times. So what we want to do is we absolutely need to tell them where our market is. We don't want to tell them, we need to tell them in Phoenix if we're advertising in Phoenix. So that would be, hey, Phoenix homeowners, or those types of things. So we want to be specific in our location. But then we let Facebook choose the right demographic kind of profile, the right interest and behaviors, because sometimes we don't really know, right? So let's let Facebook use its algorithm. They know a lot about their users. So we let them kind of do their own thing. And that actually yields really good results today. So from here, now we're talking about creating ads. So we want to create ads with strong visual impact. Videos and images are almost expected today. If you run an ad without a photo or a video, you're probably not going to see great results. So a lot more engagement with videos and images. We want to keep the videos fairly concise. Also want to keep the copy fairly short and sweet. We want to make sure we're being direct and kind of speaking to our audience, but we want to do that quickly. And then personalization. So as I mentioned a minute ago, hey there, Phoenix homeowners is speaking specifically to someone who owns a home in a specific market. So the more we can do that, the more we can talk to somebody's pain points and their interests, the better off we're going to be. So personalization is a great way to increase our effectiveness with our ads. Okay, so then looking at a kind of a budget range for each of these different campaign types. And we can, of course, run multiple campaigns. We may have an awareness campaign running at the same time as a leads campaign and a retargeting campaign, all kind of out there running. But these are kind of your budget ranges for those. So awareness is a little less expensive. We're not asking Facebook to go find specific people. It's pretty broad. We're kind of getting a very large audience, right? So very wide kind of exposure. So $500 is kind of a baseline, up to $2,000 a month. With the $500, you might get a couple ads in there. With the more aggressive budget, you can do 5 to 10 ads. So these are the types of budgets you can expect for the awareness campaign. Traffic is pretty similar because the ad kind of goal of the campaign is roughly the same, but we are asking them to kind of take action, or we're driving them to kind of take action to a landing page or a website. So there is a little bit more of a budget required for that. And then the leads campaign, this is where we're going to start generating revenue. So we typically need to put, a good decent amount of money into our lead campaign budget, $1,500 to $5,000, sometimes more than $5,000 for companies who are really trying to grow or very aggressive growth plans. But this is a very healthy budget for most businesses that we work with. Now, we don't do as many ads in the campaign for the lead campaigns often. We typically will do a smaller number of those and focus on running a couple good ones. And then retargeting, kind of stepping back to a little more affordable type of budget. So 500 to 2,000, kind of in line with that awareness campaign. But we can get very creative. We can do dynamic ads based on their interest rate, because we know that they were looking at a pair of Nike shoes. We even know what shoes they were looking at, right? So if they were on your website and they were looking at your kitchen remodel page, we know that they are interested in a kitchen remodel, most likely. So we can be very specific in the ads that we put in front of them. Personalized messaging, like, hey, looking for a kitchen remodel. And then creative sequencing, right? So we can actually create the campaign to run specific ads at specific times in order to progress them through the buying process. So those are the budgets that you can kind of expect for different campaign types. Now, of course, this is all up to you in how you want to budget. These are our recommendations and some kind of general guidelines, but those are pretty close to what you could expect for those different campaign types. All right, so then how do you do this on your own? Well, some of the aspects of the platform, some of the things you can do on your own, you can jump in, you can get an ad published and running pretty quickly. So now when you get in some of them advanced kind of retargeting strategies, or as I just mentioned, kind of the sequencing of ads, those things start to get more complex and more kind of involved. But most people, if you understand technology and social media at a basic level, you should be able to start running ads. So in order to do that, here is kind of a recommendation of kind of the DIY model. Create and optimize your profile, specifically your business page. In this case, you're going to want an ads manager account with Facebook or with Meta, and then also a business manager account. So your business manager account is kind of your umbrella. Underneath that, you'll have the ads manager, the business page, you'll have events manager. So you'll have several assets under your business manager account. So don't get caught up in that. It's fairly easy. You just want a business manager account and an ads manager account, and then you'll kind of align your assets underneath those accounts. And then you'll run ads from your ads manager. So campaign selection, we talked about that. So you'll kind of want to define what you're trying to do at this specific time with your campaigns, build awareness, generate leads. Oftentimes you'll do a couple of those. So you want to select your campaign based on what you're trying to accomplish. You want to go into your audience and budget. So we're going to narrow down on our geography, any kinds of demographics or interests we're looking at focusing on, set our budget based on the campaign type and kind of our budget that we have available. And then we want to create those compelling ads. So we want to speak directly to our target audience and make sure that they are compelling and get people to take action. And then once you run the ads, I would say start small, right? Start small and simple, even smaller budgets than we've mentioned before, just to kind of get into things, right? Start to understand the platform. You can put $1 a day budget onto some of these ads. So you can do very small budgets. You may not get big results, but you'll start to see some of the data. You'll start to be able to come analyze your results. So you want to look for your reach and impressions. Reach is the number of accounts or people that you're in front of, and then impressions is the number of times an ad is shown. So I may look at your ad 5 times, but that's just 1 reach and 5 impressions. You want to monitor your cost per click. So how much are you spending to get someone to actually click one of your links? And that can be clicking into your ad or clicking a link to a website, etc. And then click-through rate is how many people clicked out of the entire group of people who saw the ad, right? So it's a percentage of the total population that actually did that link click. And then cost per lead. So we kind of know generally what it should take to generate a lead. So we kind of know if we're kind of on track or way off with regards to how much we're spending in order to acquire a lead. A lot of the people I talk to are $100, $150 a lead. That gets to be pretty expensive. As you saw, we were kind of $11 to $40 or $50 per lead. That was a very strong performing campaign or ad, so that's not the results we always see, but definitely $100, $150 a lead is getting on the high side. And then tracking tools. So there are tools out there that will help you analyze your results and kind of make sure that you're optimized. They'll make recommendations for you. There are AI tools and in general that will actually publish the ad. These are tracking tools. These are analytics tools that will help you understand how you're performing and where you might want to make some adjustments. The AI tools that I mentioned, the other AI tools are more for creating the ads and creating the copy. So those are very helpful as well. This is kind of post ad, kind of running the analytics behind the scenes. All right, so here's a typical roadmap. When we talk with a client, these are the things that we go through when we talk about kind of how to take the steps down the path. So recommended roadmap. First phase is let's make the most of what you already have. We have a database of people, you have past customers, and you probably have a list of people who didn't do business who you talked to at some point, right? So dead lead revival is going back to that group of people and saying, hey, did you ever move forward with somebody? Should we kind of pick up our conversation or not, right? And then you'll be surprised how many people didn't move forward or even maybe had a bad experience and do need help. So we want to focus on kind of dead lead revival and then referral kind of program. We want to talk to your past clients, see if they have referrals that you could help, and a review campaign. We want to make sure that you've gotten reviews from as many people as you can. That is critical in today's environment to get shown on Google search. So having reviews is critical. So these are campaigns that we kind of start quickly with our clients before they even go pay for anything else, right? No ads, no SEO yet. Let's make the most of what you have. And then we look at ad campaigns with Meta, with Google Local Service, and then we're looking at website development and enhancement to get ranked in the search engines. So those are kind of our next phases. So that's the roadmap that we're looking at when we work with a client. That's how we approach things. Tools and resources. So we have some resources that we make available. So these are complimentary. There's no obligation with these. First and foremost, we have a marketing checklist. This is going to give you a good kind of tool to make sure you're covering all of the bases. Go right down the list. There are several different categories. So this will kind of make sure that you're covering all of your bases. A little bit more involved or a little bit more expanded kind of version. This is going to be an ebook that's going to give you a little bit deeper content. This is available for you as well. And then lastly is a full marketing audit. The marketing audit is going to be me digging into your website, your social media profile, your rankings in the web searches. So it's going to give us a really good feel for current state, where there are gaps and kind of where there are areas of opportunity. So when you leave this, it'll take me a couple hours to go do. We'll get back together. We can review that, and you'll be leaving that call with a pretty good feel for kind of where you might have some challenges and kind of where your opportunities are. So that kind of covers the resources, and that kind of brings us to the end of our webinar. Hopefully you found the information on the Facebook ads, Meta ads platform helpful. We would love to talk with you. If you have any questions on this or any other digital marketing for builders and remodelers, we'd love to hear from you. By all means, reach out, message us, schedule some time. We'll look forward to talking with you then.